Zen hustler, hustling, flowing, biz and life.
So how is everybody? It's been a while since I've come on and connected over here, and I just felt called to get on and just update a little bit of life updates, a bit of energetic updates, a bit of business updates, and really just to connect with you all. So today is the 11th of the 11th, and if you haven't already done so, stopped and taken time, well, I did at 11:11. I said a prayer of gratitude for what I have and what I'm receiving every day, every minute. So it's quite a powerful time. And from what I understand, the activation, the portal itself will be open until January 11th, so 1st of the 11th. So we're going 11/11 over to 1/11. And it's also the Scorpio new moon. So Scorpio is all about transformation, rebirth. So I'm going to get into all that. I want to start off with just where I've been, what's been happening, and hearing about what's going on in your world. Sorry about that background noise. I've got the mister doing some outside stuff. So, yeah. I mean, I closed the sliding door so I couldn't hear it. But I can still hear it. So, I guess what's been happening over in my world is, as with many people, especially being light workers, really on the ascension path, working, I'm not going to say working, evolving through and ascending, from 3D to 5D. It's been a challenging time, I must say. Dark nights of the soul, allowing the stuff to all come to the surface. And, like I was saying before, this Scorpio new moon is just perfect for it. Perfect for it. To allow, the death and the rebirth and the transformation to take place. It's really giving us the boost that we need. And so what's really come to light for me over the last few months is, I'm not sure if you... you've read a book called Power versus Force, right? I've had that book for quite some time now, and I refer back to it quite often. So it tells you, gives you a breakdown of the highest frequency thoughts and feelings, and the lowest, most densest. Now the lowest is, of course, shame and guilt. The highest, from memory, I should probably... Oh, here, yeah, perfect. So it's this book here. And I'm sorry if you can hear the background noise. Mister's quite loud today. Shame is down here at 20. And then we've got enlightenment, which is up here, anywhere between 700 to 1,000, right? And so, love, where is it? Love comes in at 500 and joy comes in at 540, right? So there's not that much of a difference. But the way I see it, there is a massive difference, because I always talk about love being the answer to everything, and everything I do revolves around love. So, I always say, throw some love in it, magic happens. Feel love, act with love, think through love. What would love do? Something I typically ask myself. And so I'm always talking about love and working towards it, or something around that. And I realized that the next level up for me is joy, right? So at the end of the day, the Zen Hustle thing is about freedom, which brings you joy, because Zen Hustle is freedom. If you haven't already figured that out, that's what I stand for. That's what I represent. I do that through Zen Hustle. Now, what's the feeling? What are we really working towards on a deeper level? It's joy, right? So joy is even above love. And so that realization alone has, I think it's like just putting just missing pieces of the puzzle of my big picture, my ascension path picture. And so I just wanted to make you aware of that, you know, there's different levels, and where are you working towards? Like, where are you, what's the feeling end goal? Like, what's the emotion of it all? Not just the external dollars and cents. Like, what's the big enlightened picture that you're working towards, right? So yeah, so it goes through the whole list. So if you want to get this book, it's really good. I mean, I've never read it cover to cover, to be honest with you. I really just refer back to it and just pick out the bits and pieces that I actually need. Yeah, so I highly recommend it. Another thing that I've been doing lately is really stepping more into my Zen Hustle spirit. So Zen Hustle embodiment has been really high up there for me. Now, it's been my mission and my focus because whilst I'm already a Zen Hustler, I feel like there's also an ascension, like evolution on the Zen Hustle path as well. And that's something that I've been really stepping more into. And so how that looks on a daily basis is I've structured my day a little bit better now. So I have order, everything's, you know, calendar chunks and based, and everything's accounted for, but not in a way that makes me feel stifled or forced. So this is more or less feeling into it, not what I have to do. So you know the whole reverse engineering thing of this is the end goal, this is what you want. So say, for example, you want to work 20 hours a week. You'd, you know, chunk that back down. So I work school hours. So I'd work backwards of, okay, well, this means I've got 4 hours each day or 5 hours each day, whatever the case may be. And then figure it out from there. So put the priorities in of, like, you know, health and wellness, you know, fitness, family, all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, that involves waking up earlier again. Like, I've always loved waking up early, and I developed a really bad habit. So understanding what I need, not just desire, what my body needs, what I need in order to function at optimal level and, you know, embody the true Zen Hustle spirit, you know, the mind, body, spirit, business integration. How does that look? How does that feel? So it's pulling all that in together and really finding that blend, the blend of integration that works for you in order to give you the balance. So for me, I don't believe in just the whole balance scales thing. I believe in the whole blend it, find the blend the Zen, blend the hustle together. And the balance comes from there. So it's like, for me, I don't believe in just saying discipline. I believe that you need devotion in order to be disciplined. So, you know, the emotion or the feeling behind it, or that's going to connect you to it. And so it's really about understanding yourself and understanding what works for you and your family. But even beyond that, it's about looking at the big picture and just doing what it takes to make it happen, right? So the big picture is you want to do this thing here, but you've only got 2 hours in a day to do it. Well, make those 2 hours count. Give it all you've got in those 2 hours with no distractions. So what I found is I was a queen of multitasking. I loved multitasking. And I'm finding that doing just focused tasks, just focusing on one thing and giving it my all, not only did I finish it a lot quicker, but the energy and the intention was there behind it. And so it added that extra spices, it added that extra magic. And so for me, that's a big thing. That's a big thing for this Virgo productivity queen who likes to be productive, or I thought I was being productive, multitasking. Because I'm multi-passionate. I want to do so many things at once, but I've had to learn how to really zone that in and focus on one thing at once. And even in terms of the bigger picture, like I've always had 3 businesses running at once. And so I reached a point where I had to make a decision on where is it that I'm headed? Like, what is it that I want to be doing? And so I still do glass straws. And I used to have, my fashion bodysuits range as well. But I still do glass straws, but my focus is on building myself, my personal brand, because everything just comes from there. You'll hear me always talk about empires rather than business, because to me, building an empire means you have sovereignty over what you do, and there's many layers to it, right? So it's not just, here's my business and that's it. Like, my empire is going to have so many different parts of me, like I've always done. I've always done products, even before merch and all that stuff was a thing. I was importing from China. I was traveling to China. I was creating products. Over 10 years ago I started, 13 years ago, whatever it was, in just products alone. And so, I will go back to my roots of that. I started as a life coach back in 03, 04, and sort of moved over to business coach as I got more business experience. But I do love life coaching as well, so I find that now it's just all integrated, and that's the same with my products. It'll go back under my personal brand as I start to, build and grow more, get out, get myself out there a little bit more. So I don't know how I got on that topic, but anyways. Yeah, okay, and so another thing that I'm focusing on right now is my health. I reached a point where I just didn't want to be online visually anymore, physically, because I just feel so self-conscious about my weight. And so rather than sit back and watch my life pass me by, I thought, I'm just going to take action and change what I don't like, because I've always been strong-minded. And the backstory there is also, I've gone from basically perfectionist, never leaving the house without hair and makeup done, and I found that was holding me back a lot with being online, because I'd always have to make sure everything was really perfect. And so I made the decision to just get online regardless, looking crappy as ever, because I didn't want to be bogged down by the details. I can be very OCD, right? So you'll notice my back wall is always really plain and bland, and I sit in the same spot because I don't want to overthink. I don't want to overthink at all, because if I overthink, it just kills me. I just need to be wherever I'm at and just do it. If I'm in a park, I'll do the live there. If I'm here, I do the live here. Whatever it takes, I just need to do it. Otherwise, I'll overthink too much and I won't end up doing it. So there's a tip for you. So, I'm going to get to putting a nice backdrop. I've been wanting a beautiful hot pink mandala for so long. So if you see any beautiful mandalas out there, let me know, because I really want that as my backdrop. And, God, what was I going to say there? I forgot now. Yeah, I think I was saying about how just focusing on the external stuff held me back so much that I just went the opposite way, and I just said, no, I'm not going to be worried about my looks. I'm not going to be worried about anything right now. And so what happened is I let go of the health and the weight part as well, because I didn't want to focus on the external stuff, because all my life that's what I've been so focused on. You know, looking good and feeling good, but mostly looking good. And so I just wanted it to be from the inside out, and allow the message to come through rather than it be about me and what I'm looking like. Now, don't get me wrong, that will change in time. I will go back to my Virgo self, but I think from a more grounded, centered space. And something just came to me and I forgot now. I'm sure it'll come back to me. So yeah, so coming to it from a grounded, centered space that's going to allow me to be able to balance it all together. So I find for me what happens is I need to focus on one particular area at a time, and that's what I love about working with astrology and the lunar cycle, is because it gives you, like, there's 12 houses, like 12 different areas of focus, and it allows you to focus on one different area at any particular time. It doesn't mean you neglect all the other areas, but it just means that you're able to focus on one area, give it the energy and the love that it needs, and get amplified results because the energy is ripe for the picking for that particular thing. So it's really right now for me all about embodying the Zen hustle and the Earth Energy Empress spirit, because as you know, I love trees and I love nature and I love being outdoors, and it's really important to me. And it's really just going back to my own basics is what it comes down to. And, getting more connected to the lunar cycle, sharing more of what I know, what I do, what I live. I tend to forget to share what I do. Like, I've got this whole life going on here and I'm only sharing parts of it online. And there's so much that I feel I need to share with you, especially when it comes to the lunar cycle. And I'm no astrologist, so, I'm not going to sit there and give you astrology jargon. I can just tell it to you in simple, plain speak, from my perspective of, what I understand about it and what I've, I'll look into every month, what various astrologers are saying, and then I'll find my own flavor and my own take on it. And just basically what feels right. So sometimes I feel into it a little bit more. Other times I just feel very like, these are the facts. That's all part of being a Zen hustler. So, yeah, and it's about bringing it all together, and I just feel like it's come together in Cosmic Business, which is starting in the Sagittarius new moon, December 7th. So, what can I tell you about that? That's just going to be a space where I guess I share the day-to-day planetary movements and lunar phases, so it helps you take aligned action, and it helps you to understand it in a simple, practical, easy to apply way. And I don't know why, but I felt called to offer 3 bonus trainings of, astrology basics, lunar launching, and what's the last one? Seasons and cycles. That's right. So if that's of any interest, I can pop the details in below. I'm just trying to think if that's all my life updates. Okay, so today is the waxing crescent in Capricorn. Now, Capricorn is, of course, very grounded. It's an earth energy, and so it's practical, and it loves planning and feeling organized and stuff like that. And so the waxing crescent is a time where you've set your intention for the new moon already on the new moon. The waxing crescent is when you're creating the action plan for it. So say, for example, your goal is to, I'm just going to put an easy one, cliched one out there. You want to make $10,000 this month, right? So the new moon is when you set the intention for that, and you do it in a way where it's not necessarily, I want to make this much money. It's, I feel abundant, I feel abundant and grounded as money flows to me, and something that feels good for you. And if you're there, say hello, please. And then on the waxing crescent, which is today, well, officially it's tonight. Let me check it's 10:47 tonight, and it's in Capricorn. So Capricorn loves that whole planning and, action and doing. Capricorns are really good operators, really good workers. So take the time to think, all right, so what are my action steps for this intention that I've set? So go back to your new moon intention, which was on Thursday. If you set your new moon intention, if you haven't, you can still do that. And then feel into that. Feel into your mantra, your affirmation, the thing that feels good, that takes you back to it. And then today is all about the action part of it. So what action are you actually going to take to get you to that intention? And if you've got any questions, just pop them in below. And if you're there, say hello, because I can't see who's on for some reason. And then the 11:11 portal, which I was saying before, is from now until the 1st of January, if I'm not mistaken. And we're building on from the energy that's already there. So a beautiful, like an activation is starting on the ascension path, right? So we're moving into 5D. And, we can really take this opportunity to rewire and heal our brain. And, we can go either way. We can make it that it's delusional, or we can just be devoted and honor the path and keep going down that path. And as women, we're creating more from our womb space, not, trying to step out of here, out of the patriarchy, and going back to our inner wisdom, which we've always had. Source is here, ready to help us. And I feel like we're finally ready to accept that help. So step into that. Step into that. It's really important to step into that. You'll find that, if we're thinking of karma, it's almost like instant materialization, like in the sense that, I was talking about to Mr. before about how karmically when you do something, it wouldn't come back to bite you, for example, for months, right? And you feel like everything comes back almost instantly. And that's the same with the good stuff. It's not just the bad stuff, or so-called bad stuff. It's, we've been on this path since 2012 when it was, I guess, the end of the main calendar, or we thought it was the end of the world, or whatever people thought at the time. And so since then, the energy started like grounding us light workers. And what I'm finding is now we're getting more grounded, and we're not playing small anymore. Like, we're trusting in our abilities, and we're really stepping into our true power, as light workers, as spiritual beings having a human experience. So I think that's all I've got to say today. Let me just see if I wrote anything down today that's worth sharing. Okay, so no. But all I'm going to say is another thing that that came to me as well, and that I've always believed in, but I've stepped into a little bit more, is it's okay to plan and still be spontaneous. So that's part of the Zen Hustle way. It's having the structure, the foundation in order to flow, because otherwise it's just going to be everywhere. And so, for me, it looks like as I mentioned before, scheduling my day, and also like meal preps, you know, going back to plant-based eating, keeping food really simple and clean. I think simplicity is probably the key here. Really simple. And I love that saying, keep it simple. I'm not going to say stupid. I'm going to say sweetheart. So, oh, hey, Kate. Beautiful Kate. Mwah. I was just sharing just all my updates on what's been happening and just all this beautiful energy and what's going on in my world. And beautiful Kate is due very soon. How many more weeks, Kate? 3 weeks, is it? You're the most amazing woman in general, but amazing pregnant woman. I forgot the whole way through she was pregnant. She's just unbelievable. So yeah, talking about this 11/11 portal today, and just we're on the waxing crescent moon today, and just all the changes that 2.5 weeks. Oh, wow. Wow. Mwah. Love you, Kate. Wow. Crazy. So yeah, so I love you, beautiful. Oh, you're so gorgeous. Thank you. So yeah, so it's beautiful energy today. I don't know if you can feel it. I know I am, and I don't normally do lives on a Sunday, and I don't normally work on a Sunday, but I just feel like, you know, it's not work. It's just an extension of who I am, and it's just, you know, especially this 11/11 portal, like I said before, us light workers are stepping more into our power and stepping more into who we are, and you know, our big vision that we've been too afraid to believe could really come true. So we're stepping more into that power. We're stepping more into who we are on a soul level. Who we are on a soul level, and, you know, connecting source, soul, and strategy to bring it through. Kate, I love how you share these teachings, so powerful and potent. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that. I feel like it's time, Kate, and Kate's kind of seen all the back end stuff that I've been going through, and it's like it's all come together. It's that whole full circle moment of I get it, and it's like I've been talking about Zen Hustle for 5 years, maybe more, and knowing what it was, but it's taken me this long to, like, and I thought I'd stepped into it a couple of years ago, but to really step into it, because that's the thing, when you start talking about something, you may think that there may be fear that's popping up at the start, like when I first created Zen Hustle. Kate, delicious, stepping into what our soul desires. Yes. I thought I was stepping into Zen Hustle, being a Zen hustler. But you realize that there's this fear because nobody really knows what it is, and no one could understand how do you get Zen with hustle, because you had two polar opposite extremes, right? You had the flowery woo-woos, as I call them, lovingly call them, and then you've got the hardcore badasses who it's just logic and that's it, right? Who just hustle and grind, let's go. And here I was in the middle, wanting to pull both sides together. And my struggle was, okay, so who do I target? Do I target the woos, who really hate the hustle? Or do I target the hustlers and let them know how they can step more into their feminine without losing their power? And it was a real struggle. It was a real struggle for me. So I couldn't articulate it. I couldn't bring the two worlds together. What do I say? How am I going to express that? How am I going to explain that? What do I do? What do I say? And so I found that the clarity came in just the talking. The clarity came in the action. The clarity came in just following it through all the time. Just keep going and keep going. And here we are today. And I still feel like I'm stepping into an even deeper level. A deeper level of Zen Hustle, a deeper level of freedom and joy. And even though you're meant to be doing something, it doesn't necessarily come through so easily. It's like, you know, the whole caterpillar to butterfly thing. That's what I always think of. Sometimes there's little struggles along the way, but they don't have to be big. You can be a drama queen and, you know, keep them big, or you can just go, okay, what's this here to teach me? I'm just going to read Kate's. Kate said, I've stepped so powerfully into this over the past 2 months, and wow, it looks so different to what I thought. Ego vision versus soul vision. So true, Kate. Yeah, you're absolutely right, because when I started with Zen Hustle, it was very external. It was how's this going to look, and how am I going to explain it, and you know, it was very external. And so now I'm feeling more into the depth of it, the soul of it, the heart of it, the real meaning of Zen Hustle. And it's so far beyond what I even envisioned. You know, it really is on a larger scale. And I mean, when I started, I used to talk about, and I still do, it was all about the masculine feminine energy. It was all about the spirituality and the practical stuff like soul and strategy. It was about, you know, lunar cycles, external, you know, cosmic cycles, lunar cycles, and your internal stuff. And you can talk about it and you can live it, but there's different levels of embodiment. When you step deeper into the embodiment, that is the magic, my friends. That is the power right there. True embodiment isn't up here. It's here, and it's the soul. And when you can get out of your own way, and this is why I love structure and I love scheduling and systems, because that system or schedule or structure allows me to just set and forget, and then focus on the evolution, focus on the flow. Not even focus, actually. Allow the flow to come through, rather than be in a constant state of reaction. You know, you're constantly going, what am I going to do? You know, you start to get frazzled and get everywhere. Whereas if there's the structure there, you got time for the flow. You can just go, okay, this is taken care of. This technical part is taken care of. I can focus now on, you know, the flow part, on what my soul wants to say and do and be and think, and, you know. And Kate says, amen, sister, embodiment. Yes, yes, yes. And you, my sister, are a walking example of true embodiment in every sense of the word. I love that. I always think of that. That's so Kate's thing. Kate's an honorary Leb, because Lebs, we do this a lot. But Kate, when she lets go of something, she goes, is that it? So, yeah, I love that. I love that. So, yeah, it's really about just honoring wherever you're at. Just however that looks, however that feels, whether it's right or wrong by your standard or by somebody else's standard. Because up here we have standards, and here, yeah, Kate, I love the emojis. We have standards here, we have standards here. So how about just listening to these standards rather than these ones? Because up here's the programming. Up here's what we've been taught all our lives, what we've been led to believe, what we've taught ourselves, what we've convinced ourselves of. Whereas the heart knows. Peel back those layers and the heart knows. We're getting back to the core essence of who we are, rather than what we believe to be the truth, or what we believe, or who we believe we are. If we get back to source and soul and understand what's going on within on a deeper level, the answers will unfold. And I'm giving myself this advice just as much as I'm giving you, because I can get caught up in my own head. This Virgo brain, whoa, OCD on another level at times with perfectionism. But I feel like I'm nowhere near the perfectionist I used to be. Nowhere near. I've let go of so much, because I realize that in order to grow and evolve and ascend, I can't be so caught up on perfectionism. And so if I want to change it, just do something about it. And it's like how I was saying before about I was getting very self-conscious about my weight showing up online. And then I realized, well, you know what? I can't hide anymore. I've just got to fix it. I've just got to change it. I've got to do something different. So I don't have to just settle for what is. There's always a way around it. Always a way around it. And so that's what I'm doing, embodying the Zen Hustle way of being and looking at the holistic picture, looking at my health, going back to plant-based stuff, you know, moving my body every day, the basics, the Zen side of it, the Zen side of the hustle in flow. That's how you hustle in flow. It's about doing what you need to do every day to be on that path. So you're hustling from the heart. You're not, this isn't about hustle and grind. This is about hustle and flow. Hustle is just taking action, creating something out of nothing, doing what you need to do for something that you're passionate about. It's really that simple. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. And like I said, you don't have to be at either side of the spectrum, the polarity spectrum. Like I always say, polarity is just the extreme. Duality is where it's at. It's the healthier version of polarity. It's living in both worlds beautifully, like masculine and feminine, yin and yang, you know, dark and light. There's nothing wrong with being in darkness. You need to go there. There's so many, you know, opposites that just work beautifully together if we just allow it. Doesn't need to be one or the other. That's all it comes down to. And, you know, this is something that I want to really share in Cosmic Business. You know, Cosmic Business is 30 days with me, basically. I call it the sonic experience because it's audio experiences. And so it's about working with the cosmic stuff, working in alignment with the lunar cycle and the planetary movements, and understanding how that all fits in without becoming a slave to it. Like I know with Mercury retrograde, everybody, oh, I can't do anything. No, retrogrades are a time to rethink, recheck, you know, go back into it and see if what's working is working. See how it's working, see what needs to be tweaked. And so, and that's why I just feel like it's time for me to just pull it all together. And Kate says, heart hustle. Yeah. So to bring all that together and just show you a different way of, you know, planning and action taking and launching and, you know, not necessarily just sticking to a typical calendar month, doing it around the lunar cycle, which is something I do. You know, every month the first thing I do is I set my calendar, I go through, I check all the moon dates, all the planetary actions, you know, all the Vox, the void of course. What else do I do? You know, the equinoxes, the solstices, so the wheel of year, all that stuff. Everything goes into my calendar. This calendar here, I don't know if you can see that stuff there, but that's like retrogrades, all different retrogrades there. So thank you, beautiful. I love you, Kate Payne. So all those boxes there, I've marked off retrogrades. I look at it over the year and I kind of work around it, as well as school holidays I think I've got in there. So it's really about working energetically smarter, not harder. Yeah? But I don't want you to be a slave to astrology or the moon or anything like that. Like if, you know, the best time to launch is a new moon or any time in the waxing. But if you get an idea in the last quarter, then just do it. You know? I feel that's all I got to say about that, peeps. Wow, I've been on for like 40 minutes. That's insane. I was just going to have a quick chit chat. But anyways. Alright. If you've got any questions, pop them in below and I will answer them. Anyways, peace out.